Today on Relative Justice.
This is a tale as old as time. You loan your family money and they don't want to pay you back.
There were some things going around in our family, in the family rumor mill. It was alleged that Georgie had a problem.
What kind of problem did he have?
Gambling.
George, do you gamble?
Real people, real cases, real families in crisis. Relative Justice with Judge Rhonda Wills starts right now.
Colette Renee Aiken, you are here suing your cousin for $3,543 for what you say is an unpaid loan. George Aiken, you say you don't owe your cousin anything because you guys are family and this was never a loan, it was a gift.
Yes, Your Honor.
So Renee, I have to tell you, this is a tale as old as time. You loan your family money and they feel like it was a gift and they don't want to pay you back. That seems to be the position that you're taking here.
Yes, Your Honor.
So in reading what you filed with the court, Renee, it seems like you're very surprised by this because you describe your relationship with George as the two of you being more like brother and sister all your lives. So tell me about that.
Your Honor, George and I are 2 months apart in age. Our mothers were very good friends and we are children of two brothers. During kindergarten, we would have the little Tom Thumb weddings. George and I would get married every day.
Every day.
Oh, okay.
Every day, Your
So
Honor.
you guys were kissing cousins
Yes.
then? Okay,
Yes.
okay, gotcha.
We would get, because I didn't, well, I'm not going to say I don't like people, but I just, you know, I was close to him. He was close to me. And as you know, as we began to grow up, I got into some trouble with school. I was always a good student, but then I kind of got off track.
What kind of trouble did you get into?
Well, I was an A student and I started, you know, going into adolescence, and we grew up in the church and all we did was go to church, Bible study, prayer meeting back then. They called it prayer meeting. And so we really, as PKs, we really didn't experience other things that our peers were experiencing.
When you say PKs, what do you mean?
Preacher's kids.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Two brothers.
So you were both preacher's kids.
Yes.
And you grew up in the church.
Yes.
Going to church Wednesday night, Thursday night, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday.
Yes, and we were
Okay.
in the choir, and I did submit to the court, Your Honor, a picture of Georgie and I in the choir when we were little.
Okay, let's take a look at that photograph. Okay. Okay, so basically you guys really did grow up more like brother and sister.
Yes.
So George, tell me what it was like growing up with Renee.
Growing up with Renee was always a loving and good situation, Your Honor. Like she said, we were in kindergarten together, and every single day she wanted to get married. No matter where I was or what I was doing, she would come, Georgie, let's get married. So I would
Okay,
sit
so
there and get
Renee,
married.
I hope you got married in real life.
And divorced, yes.
So marriage wasn't what you thought it was going to be.
No, it
when
was
you grew
not,
up.
Your Honor.
So George, it sounds like that you and Renee grew up really close. Then when you became adults, did you continue to be close?
We continued to be close, even though we kind of went our separate ways. I went into the Marine Corps, got out.
Well,
got
thank you for your
married.
service to our country.
Thank you. I got out and got married and had some kids, and you know, through little instances we would see each other, not as often as we would have liked, but over the last 5 years we've been pretty constant in communication with each other.
So Renee, what's your relationship been like the last 5 years? Before he started borrowing money from you and not paying you back.
Well, I moved from the Washington, D.C. area of Maryland, the DMV, closer to Philadelphia. And what happened was, it's because of him that I moved, because I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And when I called George to tell him, he said, well, Renee, it seems like to me it's time for you to come home. And he, you know, I saw a place, you know, that was nearby. He went and checked it out for me because I lived, you know, far away. And I didn't find out until a year later that he actually paid the holding fee for that apartment for me. Yeah.
So you were ill.
I was ill.
And you moved back home. And how are you doing now?
Today, I feel absolutely wonderful. I was diagnosed in 2017. And right when I thought I was making it over the rainbow, I got diagnosed again with gastrointestinal cancer. And go get a biopsy, Georgia take me. Had to go to the hospital for surgery, Georgia takes me. So we're very close. So there's nothing I would not do for him because that's the way we just do for each other.
So how are you doing health-wise now?
I thank God. I'm doing well.
Well, that is wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
So it sounds like when you were going through all these health struggles, George was there for you. So how is it then that you wind up in my court over a money dispute between two people that have been close since you all were knee high? And now here you are in court fighting about money.
Well,
explain it to me.
We've always been there for each other when it comes to, say, $50, $100, $200, but the amounts of money that he needed or was asking for at the time was kind of out of the norm of what we would normally ask of each other. Now, although I gave it to him, no questions asked, because that's the type of relationship we have.
So, Renee, what was he telling you he needed money for?
I'll be honest, Your Honor. Georgia and I we have this spoken language between the two of us, which is like a silent language. We just vibe with each other. We bond with each other. And if he says he needs it, I just take his word that he needs it.
Well, he obviously gave spoken words to say, I need X number of dollars.
Yeah.
So that part was
Right.
spoken.
Right.
So I'm trying to understand when he said, I need X number of dollars, what did he tell you he needed the money for?
Up next,
There were some things going around in our family, in the family rumor mill.
Okay, what was going on in the family rumor mill?
It's kind of sensitive. I really don't, because it's...
You don't have to bring that up.
Go ahead. What was he telling you he needed money for?
We have this spoken language between the two of us, which is like a silent language.
Well, he obviously gave spoken words to say, I need X number of dollars.
Yeah.
So that part was
Right.
spoken. So I'm trying to understand when he said, I need X number of dollars, what did he tell you he needed the money for?
So one of the times he told me he needed it for his son. And he said that he would need some money to help get his son enrolled in school. No problem.
How much money did he tell you he needed for his son?
Well, the first loan was like for $400. That was like in July. And I think I did submit to the court, in July.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And he paid it back.
Okay. So when was the next time he came to you to borrow some more money?
August the 12th.
Okay, and how much did he borrow then?
That was for $580. That was supposed to be for, I think, like the down payment on tuition or something like that.
And did he pay that back?
No.
Okay, and then when was the next time he borrowed money from you?
The next amount of money was for $1,000.
Okay, and what did he tell you that was for?
Now, for that was supposed to be for, I think he said something was going on with his car. He wanted to trade in his car or something like that.
Up until this point, other than the $400 payment he'd made to you, had he paid you back any of your other money?
He had not, Your Honor, and at this point, this is where I kind of drew the line. To protect both of us, we need to draw up a promissory note.
Okay, let me see the promissory note. Thank you. So George, your cousin Renee has submitted to me a promissory note, and it has your signature on it. Did you sign the promissory note?
I did, Your Honor, but I treated it like Monopoly or something. You know, the game Monopoly where you just hand out money and promissory notes.
Well, it
and all
sounds
that
like
kind of
Renee was
stuff.
the only one handing out money around here, so.
Well, I mean, Renee, and I mean, I love her to death. I knew I could depend on her, and she would come through for me.
Okay, so Renee, what was the next amount that he borrowed from you?
He borrowed $640 on the 13th.
Okay, and what did he tell you he wanted that money for?
Well, he told me he just needed to, house money because it's getting around the holidays, get food in the house for Thanksgiving and that type of thing. But at this point, there were some things going around in our family, in the family rumor mill.
Okay. What was going on in the family rumor mill?
Well, it's kind of sensitive. I really don't, because it's.
You don't have to bring that up.
Go ahead.
Because I didn't know the information to be factual. It was alleged that Georgie had a problem.
Okay. What kind of problem did he have?
Gambling. Which I did not believe, because he knows he can come to me and talk to me if that was a problem. I didn't believe it also because we were in the midst of a pandemic. The casinos, how can that be? And then I realized he's not paying this money back, and we need some intervention. We need some help. And if he does have a problem, I love him to death, and if he needs help, I'm going to still stand by him, but I want my money.
So what kind of gambling do you believe, or was the rumor mill saying he was doing?
Well, they were saying that he was gambling, but my question was, that can't be. But then I was alerted to there's a such thing as online betting.
So you believe that George was actually using your money to feed his online gambling addiction?
I don't want to, there is no other reason he would do this to me.
So, George, do you gamble?
I dibble and dab. I don't do anything more than the average Joe Smo out there.
What kind of gambling do you do?
I go online and gamble 21 or craps or almost anything I can get my hands on online.
Up next,
How much money do you think you gamble with each day when you're doing the online gambling?
At least $1,000.
Is that your own money, or is this money that you're borrowing from Renee?
I borrow from Renee, I borrow from my wife. I guess it kind of got out of hand.
So you believe that George was actually using your money to feed his online gambling addiction?
There is no other reason he would do this to me.
So, George, do you gamble?
I go online and gamble craps or almost anything I can get my hands on online.
How long have you been doing the online gambling?
I've been doing it for most of my adult life, but it's tricky sometimes.
What do you mean by that?
Well, sometimes you can win. I mean, there's times that I would sit here and win and try to get the money up so I could, pay some of the money back that I owed, and then I'd end up losing it.
How often do you online gamble?
Every day.
How many hours a day do you think you spend online gambling?
Can be anywhere between 2 to 8 hours to 12 hours at a time.
So when you started out online gambling, were you always gambling that much, or did it increase over time?
Well, like anything, it builds up, and I guess it kind of got out of hand.
How much money do you think you gamble with each day when you're doing the online gambling?
At least $1,000.
So this money that you gamble with, is that your own money, or is this money that you're borrowing from Renee?
Well, I borrow from Renee, I borrow from my wife, I borrow from myself, wherever I can get the money.
And how often do you win, and how often do you lose?
Well, obviously, Your Honor, I'm losing more than I'm winning, so.
How does it make you feel when you gamble?
Oh, I'm embarrassed. I don't like to admit it. I'm surprised Renee would bring me to court to discuss this, but.
When was the last time you online gambled?
Recently I've gotten into Gamblers Anonymous, so I'm trying to get it under control.
When was the last time you online gambled?
It's been at least 30 days.
You're telling me you haven't done any online gambling in 30 days?
No, Your Honor. I'm pleased to say that I have not.
So, how often do you go to the Gamblers Anonymous sessions?
There's 2 that I visit a week.
Now that you are in Gamblers Anonymous, how do you feel that's helping you?
Well, it's teaching me to keep my gambling under control. I'm looking in other ways to deal with my time. I'm getting more involved with family. I've gotten back into the church, and I'm living a better life today, Your Honor.
George, when I hear you say you're getting your gambling under control, that concerns me. How do you feel you're getting it under control?
Well, Your Honor, one thing that they talk about in the rooms is you take it one day at a time. And that's how I've been doing it.
So did you ever, before today, admit to Renee that you have a gambling addiction?
No, I did not.
So Renee, how does it make you feel to know that the family rumors are true and George does have a problem?
It breaks my heart. I love Georgie. He's like my brother. And he knows that there is not anything in this world that if I can do for him, that I will do it. If he needs help, if you need help, you know I'm here for you. You know that. You know how much I love you.
Well, I believe that I've heard enough and I'm ready to rule.
Judge Rhonda's verdict is next.
Let me just say this. George, I'm glad to hear that you have now recognized that you have a problem, because that's the first step, is to realize that you have a problem and that you're trying to get help. And I think that the problem you have is probably more common than people realize. And it starts out as you're kind of bored, you're online, and the gambling seems like fun. It seems harmless, it seems easy. And then, especially with the pandemic, when we were all stuck at home and spending more time online, it gets out of control. And it's easier to slide into something like an online gambling addiction than people realize. So I commend you for recognizing that you needed help and getting help.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And I do think it is going to be a struggle for you, day to day to day. And I would highly recommend that you stay in your Gamblers Anonymous classes and that you try to remove temptations from your home, like your computer, like online access, things like that that might make it easy for you to give in to temptation and go online again.
All right, Your Honor.
Renee, I recognize that you love your cousin. He's been there for you. You'd heard family rumors. You did not know before today that he actually does have a gambling addiction. You didn't realize it, but you were basically feeding the beast by continuing
Enabling him.
to give him money, and you were enabling him.
Yes, I apologize for that because I didn't
Well, now that you know, I really, really hope that you're going to be there to be supportive of George.
Absolutely.
And George, I hope you stay on your path to recovery and take it day by day. However, you have borrowed this money from your cousin, and you do need to pay her back. One of the steps in going through Gamblers Anonymous and any sort of recovery is to take responsibility for the people that you've harmed during your addiction.
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
during your addiction, you have harmed Renee. And you're going to take that first step by paying her back. Renee, based on the evidence that you've submitted to this court, of the money that you loaned to George, he paid you back only $400. The remaining balance is due to you. Judgment in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $3,143. And that's
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Best of luck to you. Best of luck to you in your recovery.
I feel kind of saddened that it was confirmed today that Georgie has a problem, but I'm going to be there for him. Georgie, I'm sorry I was not there for you. I wish you would have just told me the truth. You know I would have been here for you.
Right. Makes me feel good knowing that I was able to let her know what's going on today, and I'm sorry she had to go through it.
I love you.
Love you too.